Shalom. So we looked at remembering the Sabbath after the first tabernacle. Now we're going to look at remembering the Sabbath after the second tabernacle. Right? We have to put a distinction between the priesthood of the tribe of Levites after the sons of Aaron and the priesthood after the cosmos, the heavenly priesthood. Alright? This kingdom has no end. This has been there from the beginning of time, and it will be there throughout eternity. Right? This is the eternal one, has been established by the Most High. It has always been this way. However, we had things to rehearse. However, the things that we were rehearsing was just for a period of time. For example, what if you have a show? You have a show on the 1st of September, right? From this point until September, you will be rehearsing, but once you perform the actual show, then the rehearsals, they have no more need for rehearsals, right? So it's the same thing. We have these set of laws that we were supposed to do, but when the time for fulfillment came, you don't need to rehearse these anymore. It was temporary, right? Now let's go to Deuteronomy 14 and verse 25. It says, Then then shalt thou turn it into money, and bind up the money in thine hand, and shall go unto the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. Which we know that place at that time was Jerusalem. The physical temple was there. And it says, And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink. This is going into the offerings that you do in the temple. Or for whatsoever thy soul desireth, and thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God. Now think about it. If you go there on the Sabbath, right? What type of foods you'd be eating there from the temple? It would not be cold foods, right? So the priests, they had that where they could do those things in the temple, because in the temple the fire was not supposed to be put out, right? These things were done there, right? So we can see that it's different for the priests to do these offerings, right? And the church members, the members of the church, would be eating there as well. That's not food prepared from the day before the Sabbath, right? No, it says, And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice and thine household. Right? So we can see there the meat, the drink offerings, the strong drink, and we would eat before the Most High. Now let's go to Colossians chapter 2 and verse 16. It says, Let no man therefore judge you in meat, meaning condemn you. Oh, why you're not offering this anymore? Why you're not offering that anymore? Where is your strong drink? Why you not keeping the new moon? Why you not keeping the Sabbath? Why you not doing this? Right? It says, Let no man therefore judge you in meat, as in meat offering, or in drink, as in drink offering, or in respect of an holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days. Right? So you cannot be saying, oh, this person is cooking on the Sabbath, or is doing this or doing that. The Levitical priesthood is no more. That's the carnal. That's the physical. We are under a different priesthood. So we don't do things the same way as the old times. Right? Let's go to 1 Samuel's chapter 15 and 22. Because we want to do all of these offerings and really think that we are subjected to the laws of the Most High because we're doing these offerings, right? It says, And Samuel said, Hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices? Meaning those meat offerings, those things that you offer on the Sabbath days. Hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? He's actually asking a question. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. So these things that we do physically on the Sabbath days, no, the most I rather know that you obey Him, right? So you don't have to be keeping all these big things to say, oh yes, you're worshiping the Most High, you're obedient to the Most High. No, He wants to see your obeisance in different ways, right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians 3 verse 16, because we're going to deal with that obey part, because it has to do with our conscience, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16. It says, know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? Let me read it one more time. It says, know ye not that ye are the temple of God? So you no longer need to go to that physical temple. You have no access to go to Jerusalem anyway, right? So what is the temple that you worship the Most High in? Or what temple is He in? We keep moving from church to church, from denomination to denomination, religions to religions, just to find the Most High. But what temple is He really in? Right? It says, know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? Right? So the voice of authority is that Spirit that is within you, right? That righteous spirit that makes you want to walk after the commandments of the Most High. That's the voice you listen to and obey. That temple is your conscience, your consciousness. That is the spiritual temple, right? So you don't need a physical high priest to do this and do that for you. You are now the high priest of your home, right? So the father is the high priest of the home, or the husband is the high priest of the home, whatever the situation might be, right? So that's the temple of the Most High. And we're going to see this in Acts chapter 17, verse 24. It says, God that made the world and all things therein, seeing that He is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands. So you don't need to go to a physical temple because you believe the Most High is in that physical building. He is in each one of us. This is why there is no more the priesthood after the sons of Aaron. The temple that you go to, right? You don't know if he's a descendant of Aaron, because you can be a descendant of Levite and still not be out of the blood, out of the lines of Aaron. It was not all Levites that were priests. It was the one that came through the bloodline of Aaron, right? The sons of Moses weren't priests. The sons of the other people of the Levites weren't priests. They had responsibilities in the temple. But to go inside the holies of holies, no. That was just for the high priest, and you had to come out of the lineage of, out of the bloodline of Aaron, the lines of Aaron, right? So what we need to understand is, when you go back to Adam, the in you is your spiritual. That is the temple. That is where your conscience is, right? And that is contrary to your natural side, which is the dam, right? So this is the war that we're fighting. The dam is making war against the because the in you wants to manifest its work, but the dam is going contrary to that. Each one of us is Adam today, and this is the internal battle that we're fighting, right? Because we don't know how to move from our natural state, doing the things that we like, we desire, we want, to go into the spiritual, essence where we can be subjected to the laws of the Most High, where we can manifest, where we can do His commandments. We are stuck into our human nature, right? We need to evolve. We need to transcend. We need to become a living soul. We need to know of His knowledge, His understanding, perform His law, manifest in wisdom, right? So that's when you go into the second tabernacle, when you reach into that spiritual man, right? Remember the first tabernacle, it was defiled. How can you defile something that is holy? Because we were there with the priest had to go there and with the sins of the people. But there's another part, the second part, the holies of holies, where only the high priest could go only once per year. Now we have a new high priest. Now we can move from this dam into the we can retreat back into our spiritual nature, where we can be in the presence of the Most High. We get to unveil, we get to see the truth of what we are. We get to understand Him. We get to understand ourselves. He cleans us up. That is the spiritual temple, that we wash ourselves with His word. Shalom.